Hello children, today's lesson is on present perfect tense, and to use this particular tense we need to be familiar with the past participle of the verb. And if you remember the sequence of my teaching, my very first lesson was about verb forms, which dealt with the regular and the irregular verbs, where I have given you a clear understanding about the first form, that is the present, the second form, the past, and the third form, the past participle. Now, these past participles are very useful to us. And along with that, we also need some fundamental information about the helping verb that is used in the perfect tense, and that is the have form. So, have forms are used to form the perfect tenses in all three kinds of tense, that is the present, past, and future. So first, in the first few slides, let us take a look at the basic information necessary here. The base or root verb is have. The verb have can be used in the following forms. We can have the root verb have, the original one. Then for the singular number, we have has. For the past tense, we have had, which is suitable for both singular and plural. And we also have the ing form, that is having. So these are the four forms of the verb have, and we need to use them wherever they are necessary. The present participle is having. So this word having is also called as the present participle, and it is used in the continuous tense. Similarly, we have for the past tense and for the past participle form, there is only one word, and that is the word had. Listen very carefully. The verb have is used as an auxiliary verb and also as a main verb. Look at these examples. She has a class today. Now in this sentence, we have only one word, has, and this is used as a main verb. Look at the next one. We have done our work. Here we have two words in the verb group, have, done. Have is the auxiliary verb and done is the main verb. Look at sentence 3. He is having his breakfast now. Once again, we have two words there, is in the helping position and having in the main position. The driver has had his lunch, so we can go now. Now look at this particular verb here, has had. Now both of them belong to the have form. Has is used as the helping verb and had is used as the main verb. And we can have such kind of combinations. We can have verbs like has had, have had, had, and all these verbs are very important, especially when we are dealing with the perfect tenses. So you need to have this fundamental information in your mind before you can go into the lesson of how to use the present perfect tense. Let's continue. When have is used as a helping or auxiliary verb, then it can be contracted. Look at the two examples there. He has done the job well. This is the full form. He has done the job well. That is the contracted form. And you have to be very careful with the contracted form because the same contraction, that is apostrophe S, is used for the verb is and it is also used for the verb has. So how do we differentiate? Whenever it is used with a past participle, that means the contraction apostrophe S is used along with a past participle, like in the example, he has done the job well. So here it is not is, but it is has. He has done the job well. And that is what you call spoken of in the contracted form as he has done the job well. Now this is the type of speaking that we find with native speakers, and that's the reason why maybe sometimes we get confused. But we need to know the past participle. That means we should be able to identify which verb is the past participle. And then we can immediately know whether the apostrophe S is or is it has. Sometimes the contracted form S is mistaken for is. That's exactly what I've been explaining now. But here, the third form or the past participle done is used as the main verb. Therefore, the contraction is understood as has. So please read this a number of times and listen to it a number of times so that it will get into your mind. That means when have or has is used as a helping verb, then the tense is in the present perfect. So look at the example given below. I have completed my work, or I've completed my homework. That is, I have. So the moment you have the word have there, along with the past participle, that is the third form of the verb, then the tense is present perfect. She has written the essay very well, or she has written the essay very well. So in conversational English, we prefer to use the contractions, and in academic language or intellectual or written language, we go for the full forms. Here I'm just bringing in another example with the past tense, but please do not get confused. This is just to show you the difference, or to show you how to use the have forms. So the have form can be used in the present, as we have seen earlier, and now we are seeing the have form being used in the past tense. And this can also be used in the past perfect tense, which we will be studying in a separate lesson. But just take a look at these examples. He had no work to do, so he went home. That is simple past tense. He had completed his work before the teacher entered the class. And here we have had completed. That is the past perfect tense. Now we see the different ways in which the have form of the verb can be used. More about this will be discussed in the lessons on perfect tenses in the present, past, and the future. So in the next slide, from the next slide onwards, we will move on to the present perfect tense. Right. Present perfect tense, the structure and its uses. Let's look at the structure first. Has or have. Why did I say has or have? Because sometimes the subject can be singular and sometimes the subject can be plural. So if we have a singular subject, we use has, and if we have a plural subject, we use have, along with the past participle or the third form of the verb. So let's look at the examples. Has bought, has arrived, has done, has written, has sold. All these are in the singular. Then have bought, have done, have broken, have sold. These are in the plural. Let's take the examples now. He has bought a new car. The subject is singular, therefore the verb is in the singular. The boy has written the answer. The boy is singular, has written is singular. They have sold their old house. The subject is plural and the verb have sold is also plural. I have done my homework. Here the subject I is singular, but the verb is in the plural. The reason being that the first pronoun I always takes the root verb. And the last example, she has completed the work on time. Once again we have she, which is singular, and has completed is also in the singular. Now if you look closely at all these verb groups that have been used here, I am calling them verb group because we have more than one verb here. That means we have two verbs in the group. One is the helping verb and the other is the main verb. And the helping verb is in the have form, either in the form of has or have, depending on singular subject or plural subject. But the main verb is always in the past participle form. Bought is the past participle form, written is the past participle form, sold is the past participle form, done is the past participle form, completed is also the past participle form. That means you must and should know your past participles. And these past participles are combined with the have form. That means has or have. Here I am talking only about has and have because we are specifically dealing with the present perfect tense. When I teach you the past perfect tense, then we will again go into the verb had. So right now you have to remember two of them, that is has and have. So in the present tense you have two have forms. Has for the present singular and have for the present plural. Well, now let's see how to use the present perfect tense. It is used to talk about events or actions that happened in the past but are related to the present time or have just been completed in the present. That means in such cases, the specific past time is not to be mentioned. Now let's look at the examples. She has just completed her work. Now we can use it with the adverb just, or we can even remove the word just and we can simply say she has completed her work. Now if you look at this sentence very carefully, we know that the work has been completed and it has been completed at a point of time in the past, but the effect of that action is felt in the present. Now, because she has completed it in the past, right now she has no other work to do. That means she is free. So, we are looking at actions that happened in the past, but they are somehow related to the present time, or they have just been completed at the time of speaking about those actions. Look at the contracted form also. She has just completed her work. She has just completed her work. She is. She has. It is not she is. Now, why did I say has? Because the main verb is the past participle form of the root verb complete. They have just gone home. They have just gone home. They've just gone home. The full form and the short form. Now, please be very careful with the main verb and make sure that your main verb is in the past participle form. If it is not in the past participle form, you cannot use it to speak in the present perfect tense. The event did not take place, we use never. And if we want to find out whether it took place or not, then we use the word ever. So never and ever are two adverbs which are suitable for the present perfect tense. We can have interrogative sentences or we can have ordinary statements, that is declarative sentences. So let's look at these two examples. Have you ever been to London? It's an interrogative sentence. I have never been to America. This is a negative sentence. The short form or the contracted form is also given to you there. I've never been to America. So in these sentences, you will see that the verb group has two words, have and been. Have is in the present and it is the helping verb. Been is the past participle of the main verb be. And together they help us to speak in the present perfect tense. And also make a note of the adverbs ever and never. And remember how to use them, where to use them. Now, expressions such as recently, lately, this morning, today, or this week can be used with the present perfect tense if we want to indicate a moment in time or a period of time. So that is the condition there. If you wish to indicate a particular moment of time or a particular period of time along with the words recently, lately, this morning, etc., we can use the present perfect tense. Now look at these examples. I have not seen you lately. Where have you been? I have not seen you lately. Look at that adverb lately and look at the verb group have seen. And then I'm also asking you a question. Where have you been? Because I have not seen you for a very long time. From some time in the past, maybe last month or last week, from that time until now, I have not seen you. And on seeing you, I am asking you this question. I haven't seen you this week. So the whole week is over. And then I'm telling you this. I haven't seen you this week. Or the contracted form, I have not seen you the whole day. In questions and negative sentences, the present perfect can be used with yet. This is another adverb that we use, meaning at the time of speaking. Look at the example. Haven't you finished your work yet? Haven't you finished your work yet? So there is some kind of a connection between the past and the present. Have you bought the tickets yet? And also we can use in positive sentences, instead of the word yet, we can use the word already. He has already completed the work. Now we cannot say he has completed the work yet or he has yet completed the work. All that would be wrong. So we have to say he has already completed the work. He has already completed the work. If you want a contraction, you have his. That is, he has already completed the work. And if you want a plural subject, they have already written their test. They've written their test. or you can say they've already written their test. So these kind of adverbs like never, ever, yet, already, and we have also seen the use of the word just. These are adverbs that are suitable to be used along with the present perfect tense. Okay, another point here is the present perfect tense is often used to answer the question, how long? And whenever we are asking this question, two important prepositions are included here. One is the preposition for, which indicates a period of time, and another is the preposition since, which indicates a point of time. Look at your examples. How long have you lived in Bangalore? I have lived in Bangalore for 15 years. We have had this car since 2014. We've had this car since 2014, a full form and a contracted form. And look at the last example there. We haven't spoken to them since the night of the argument. Focus your attention on this group of words, since the night of the argument. So there, since is indicating a particular point of time. Not only the duration, but a particular point of time. And what is that particular point of time? Since the night of the argument. We haven't spoken to them. So sometimes we can even rewrite this sentence in this particular way, saying that since the night of the argument, we haven't spoken to them. Or we haven't spoken to them since the night of the argument. So you must make a note of the prepositions here, that is for and since. And these are two prepositions which always go along with the present perfect tense. Let's summarize this very important lesson. The present perfect tense generally indicates that something happened just now, or something happened at an unspecified time in the past. Something started in the past time and is going on until just now. And finally, the result of the past action is felt in the present. I would like to repeat here. Present perfect is used to speak about something that has happened just now, or something that has happened at an unspecified time in the past, or something that has started in the past time and is going on and just gets completed at a particular time in the present. And finally, the result of the past action is felt in the present. So all these are the different situations in which the present perfect tense can be used. And there is a very important point to be remembered here. It is easy to get confused between the simple past and the present perfect. But one very clear distinction is there. The simple past uses only the second form of the verb, whereas the perfect tense uses the third form, that is the past participle. Now, if you can remember that, you will never ever make a mistake. And also notice that the past point of time is never used with the present perfect. Now, I cannot say a sentence like this. For example, I have done this work last week. Now, this would be a contradictory situation. I have done, present perfect tense. Last week is a specific past point of time. So we cannot use the present perfect in such a manner, and we have to be very careful. We'll be talking about all these things when we go into correction of sentences once again. So note that the past point of time is never used with the present perfect. No question can be asked using when in the present perfect. So that is also a clue that you can keep in mind, and that will really be helpful to you, and it will make you understand the lesson better.